This our okay. We will let's just dive in into that stuff. Okay. First thing you have to know how to use VirtualBox, Vagrant. You get so Vagrant is just used for a partition to partition your system. That's the work of Vagrant. While VirtualBox is where you will, that's where the magic is coming from. That is where you will create your memory, your storage, what you want to allocate for your machine, all the stuff. So sorry, I am recording this class. You can mute yourself if you're not talking. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this new button. Can you guys see my screen? So we click on this new button. That is, I want to create. I want to create a like a virtual a box that will hold that will hold my my machine. This is how we create my my net my what's it called my memory all the stuff. So let's just dive in. Click on this new. So this new here, so you can input any name that you want to name your stuff. Do you get? So let me just name it. Let me name it. Let me name it. Let me name it vagrant. Let me name it my vagrant. Okay. So and obviously I'm using Linux machine. I want to have Ubuntu stuff here. And again, or let's do it this way. Use let me create. First thing I'm gonna do is I want to create a directory for my vagrant to stay. Okay, so that vagrant, the whole vagrant is that when I initialize vagrant and I run vagrant or all those stuff, vagrant will automatically curate things for me here. So the work of vagrant is vagrant will create a memory for me, a memory for my machine. Ubuntu is will create everything that needs to be created, because vagrant is just like a partitioning tool to partition your machine, the way your machine will look like. Allocate memory for your machine from your system. So automatically vagrant will what allocate a like it's not 2 gig and 2.5 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes. No, it's 1 gigabyte that we can allocate for out of your system, and it will give your system 40 gig rom 40 gig rom while 1 gig ram. We get. So now let me just create a place where I want my vagrant to sit on, or my machine to sit on. Okay, so let me just create mkm directory. Let me just create class. Okay, then I want to sit into my class. All right, now the first thing is you have to just run vagrant init, to initialize my vagrant, because my vagrant has to what have something called vagrant file. That vagrant file is just like a blueprint for vagrant to work with. Do we get? So vagrant init. So it's going to initialize vagrant here and create a file from me. So let's wait. So it's like it's taking time. And also you can in this case you can also do with their documentation for vagrants. Vagrant documentation by Ashikov. Ashikov is the founder of vagrants and sometimes network. Look at it. A vagrant file has been placed in this directory. You are now ready to vagrant up your best virtual environment. Please read the comment in the vagrant file as well as documented on vagrant other stuff. Now, if I do ls, as you can see, there's a vagrant file here. This vagrant file is just my like a blueprint for for my vagrant to work with. So if this vagrant file is not there, there's no way my vagrant will work. Okay, and I said that vagrant is what is a partitioning tool, for now. If you check their documentation, I mean their stuff, you see that you can just go ahead and to read more about vagrants. So let's just move on. So I want to share something here. I want to go inside this vagrant file and do some configuration here. Okay, so let me just nano vagrant file. So yeah, I'm using nano. You can use any other thing you feel like. So right, I want to use nano. um Now, if you can see, if you are looking at my screen, I can do the configuration here. So there are some things to you have to consider when working with vagrant. There's something called this place here, config.vm.network public_network. Okay, so I will use, let me just do something real quick here, and let me go ahead again to open my um sorry, let me duplicate this guy, and duplicate this guy, cd into documents, Stevie Cloud documents. So code dots. So this one I'm just going to open my own configuration on my VS Code. That's the shortcut to open a file on your VS Code. Just press code dot to automatically open VS Code for you. Okay, so here is my own configuration for my own vagrant file. Okay, vagrant file. So there's something I want to check here before I configure this new I'm doing. So right now, okay, so let me just go ahead to shut up. Oh, hold on now. Sorry. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do what I want to do now. So inside my this, I want to do something like this. Okay, let me just explain this script for you guys, to you guys. You know what? Let me use this Control X. No. Okay. Let me use my VI. I beg. Okay. Now in here, I am configuring. I'm configuring a. I'm configuring. What's it called now? I'm configuring the way I want my system to work. Here is, I say that this VM is my virtual machine. Then I'm defining something. Let me just be doing that as I'm explaining, because of light on my system. Now under this this base, this base here, under this guy here, configure here, then you come here. Okay, so yeah, so you come here and you impute your your stuff in here. Hold on, don't do any mistake. because this thing is somehow crazy sometimes. Okay, so let's do it right here. After this guy, so you can read the documentation to understand what is going on. So first I want to do is I want to provision, you know, I want to provision and like a machine, an instance of Ubuntu. Okay, so I just run config config.vm.provision. Now echo something if like inline. You still understand that I want to what echo something when my machine is ready. I can just put ready to go. Okay, so now let's now start, the main. Now config.vm.define. So here I am creating, I am what this config is like configuration. I want to config my VM so that when I'm running this script, it will automatically go into my DM, my virtual machine, and create a running virtual, server or virtual machine that will be what running as an Ubuntu machine image on my virtual, VirtualBox. Do you get? So that's the purpose of doing what I am doing right now. Okay, so you just go in here now, config.vm.define, then server. This one, you can put a name, any name you feel like. Okay, yeah, I'm just saying that I want to what name my, if I'm running my vagrant, if I'm like inside my machine, the one that will be seeing vagrant at, so I want to be seeing maybe vagrant at Eric, or vagrant at headmaster, or vagrant at Ife. Okay, or vagrant anything you want to name your machine. Okay, so in my case I will name my vagrant, I will name it master. Okay, or I will name it Alabi. Okay, I'll name it Alabi. Do then inline what do we now do Alabi. Note what I input here is what I will input here also. Okay, then next thing I'm going to do is then I enter into, now after I've defined Alabi, like I've defined this, the next thing is that I want to now, configure. I want to now spin up an Ubuntu image. Okay, so that is Alabi dot vm dot box. So the box is the what? The box is the running machine. Okay, the running machine is the box. Okay, now Ubuntu /focal 64. Okay, Ubuntu /focal 64, because the reason I'm choosing this Ubuntu /focal 64 is because this one have LTS, that is long term service, I think. Yeah, so next thing Alabi dot, I want to what give my box, my machine, I want to give it a name. So host name. Okay, host name equals to, so you can the host name here, I can name it anything also. Okay, I can have Alabi at Alabi. Okay, I can have vagrant at Kinicom. Okay, here I want to have Alabi at maybe ALX, anything you feel like, or Alabi at at maybe Ife, Alabi at Steven, his partner. Okay, then next thing is I want to now do what? I want to create a network. It's very important, a network. So Alabi dot vm dot network. okay, network, um private underscore network, you know, um yeah, then type DHCP, dynamic dynamic don't forget this thing. No, I think dynamic. I mean, I don't forget. Yeah. So after I'm done with this, then end. As you can see, from the here I start with what config. Now inside this config, I define alabi. Okay, the alabi, then do alabi. That this alabi also need to be what recognizable. Then alabi. So under this config, I am now defining what I want to have alabi.vm box. Then I want to I want to be running an Ubuntu box. Okay, local machine box. Then I want to I am the host name. I want to have Steven as my host name. Then I want to create a network for it. Private underscore network type DHCP. Dynamic something something is that. Let's see the meaning, I beg. That will be sure. What's full meaning of DHCP? Dynamic host configuration protocol. Yeah, that's the that's the full meaning of what I just did there. So now I am done with my configuration. Okay, for this for this guy, I am done with my configuration. So now let's now run our scripts. I mean our let's now run Vagrant up. Obviously I have to save my my Vagrant file. So automatically my Vagrant file will be what reloaded. And if I cut out my Vagrant file, you see that what I was defined is already there. As you can see, where is it? This is it. Okay, so now let's now run Vagrant up. So Vagrant up, you now do the magic. Okay, so in my lobby I'm having error here. I think that is due to I'm using a capital, I'm using a cap. So let me just use a small letter. Okay, let's use a small letter. Let's use a small letter. So let's use a small letter S, A, A, A. Okay, click that up. Though this might take time, supposed to have done this and yeah, so it is bringing up my machine, as you can see. So now guys, can you see anything here? You cannot see anything, any new thing. We're already seeing 1 2, right, and this cube. So by the time this thing is done running, okay, you will see four machine. Look at it. Look at it. It's already spin up this. Earlier I want to create it myself manually, but with Vagrant will help you to create. You don't have to stress yourself. Vagrant will help you to create it automatically. Okay, it will define all the necessary things you want to define in there. So let me just take you guys through on how to do it manually. So you can just name it, let me say alabi, alabi Then I want to what? Obviously, I want to run the Linux machine. Then Ubuntu Poker 64 bits. Okay. Then next. So yeah, automatically Vagrant will allocate a memory, and the memory is what 1 GB. Okay. So you have the opportunity to what, to allocate a memory that you want to yourself. You can allocate memory like this, like 8 GB. Now in my system, I'm using a 12 GB system. So obviously if I want to run this guy now, okay, I you don't have to, see, don't allocate memory that will be too much, you know that will be too much on your system. Okay, on your system, because it will choke, or your system, and your system might be might be low of RAM. So make sure that you allocate something from this green light. So if you allocate some memory more than this, then obviously it will affect your
System
your system
performance.
performance. Thank you. So now, basically, me, I'm going to allocate just like because I'm not using this machine. So I will allocate, if I can allocate 512 MB. Okay, but let me just allocate 1 GB. Then next, so here you will create a virtual hard disk. Now this one, the recommended one is this. Okay, do not add this one, just an hard disk, hard disk for your system now, or normal
Mm.
hard disk. So VirtualBox have a place that you can, it has a virtual hard disk, that we create for you. But if you have your own hard disk that you want to use, you can use do not add hard disk, or you can use an existing one and find an existing hard disk on your system if you have. So if you do not have, just create a virtual one that this Ubuntu, this what's it called, VirtualBox will create for you. Then you go click on create. Now this create, then image, is it VirtualBox disk image? Now this is the default one. You can choose VHD, that's the virtual hard disk or virtual machine disk. So I prefer using this VirtualBox disk image. Then you click on next. Okay, now here, if you want to allocate memory, um okay, I think my system is up. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, now here, dynamically allocate memory or fixed size. And this fixed size is that it's going to what, allocate a fixed size memory for your system, for your machine. So if your machine, if you are obviously be using your machine regularly, so if your machine is getting too much files, like they are, maybe let's say for instance you allocate 20 gigabytes room for your memory. So all your stuff will not exceed that 20. And there might be a way, there might be a scenario whereby your system might, like, you might use more than 20 gigabytes. Okay, and if you choose fixed size, then your, what's it called, you'll be able to, like, you won't be able to exceed that 20 GB, and it might affect performance of your Linux machine. So it's better you would dynamically allocated. That is, if now I will, this dynamically allocated is that I will allocate memory for it. But if my my files, or my what I'm doing on the system is getting bigger, and it has surpassed the memory I allocated, then VirtualBox will automatically, dynamically allocate a memory, for my system, so that my system will not be short of memory. Okay, so I click on next. So this, you can what, you can allocate memory up to, 2 2 terabytes. Okay, now this is 10 GB now, so you can allocate, look at it, 100, 150. Look at it, 2 terabytes. So you can allocate memory up to 2 terabytes. Okay, for your system, for your virtual system, virtual box, virtual machine. Okay, so in my case, I want to allocate like 51 gigabytes, or even you can go lower, you can allocate 8 MB. Obviously you want to allocate 8 MB for your system. So I just click on 15. So in other words, if my what's it called, my stuff is if it exceed this 15.34 gigabytes, so my VirtualBox will dynamically allocate another memory that will be able to what accommodate my files, or or what I'm running on that system. So then we click on create. So this create, now look at it, Alabi. As you can see, I have created Alabi virtual machine. So this one I can now what install, input my image, my box into it. Okay, add my images, my box. Let me show you what I mean by images and box on this. Let me go to settings, and settings. It's coming up. Okay, now we go to display, I think no, system. You will see hold on, yeah, storage. So you see hold on, is this storage? System, be on system. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, so here I am importing my hard disk. Okay, I'm importing my hard disk. So that one I have downloaded it from the internet. Okay, so I want to add it into my system. Okay, hold on. Where is this place? Let me just use this new one, sure. Let's check our, what's it called? Now look at it. Look at it, the guy ready to go. That is my, my system is up running. So now if I want to now enter into my system, that is Vagrant SSH. Note is Alabi, Vagrant SSH Alabi. That's the name of our system. Of our machine, our host name. So let me go back here again. Let's use this new one. No, I want to, okay, settings. Where is the settings? So I want to import my image, because this one now is just a container, does not have anything. So I need to import image into it that will, that will be running inside the, that will be displaying, running my stuff as a machine. Do we get? Yeah. Notice. Let me check this guy again. Okay, still coming up. Okay. Don't forget this place. Oh. I think I will do a video on this when I remember. When I locate it, is around this place. I will have to import. Okay, when I remember, I will do a video on it, on how to create a running machine on its own. Before the end of the class, I might show us the one I did. Let me even quickly show us why this one is that one is running. Let me check this guy again. Look at it. We are inside Vagrant at Steven. Note that alabi is our configuration stuff, while Steven is our, let me show us why Steven, let me just cd ls into class. Now cards, vagrant file. Now look at it. We have what, that's it. Look at it. Alabi is our what? Is our like our machine name, like what we are defining. So I'm defining Alabi. Alabi is like the main stuff, Then Alabi. So without this Alabi, there won't be Steven. Okay. So I'm using alabi.vm.box. Then I'm create see Alabi just like the main the main stuff that hosts Steven and this Ubuntu other stuff. Do you get? So this alabi, let me show us alabi here. This alabi here, sorry, this alabi here, look at it. Alabi, this is the name alabi running here. Do we get? So why Steven is the host name? Okay, why Steven is the what? Steven is the host name. Look at this, alabi.vm.hostname Steven. That's why I'm having Steven here, vagrant at Steven. Now let me, I have to install it. So that is on our side. So now we have what? We have successfully created a running machine. This terminal is a machine on its own, a Ubuntu machine running on its own. Okay, so now we have successfully created this. So now integrate this with my VS Code. Okay, so let's now do that real quick. Okay, before my system goes off. So what I'm gonna do is you just go to your
Hello.
yeah.
So quick question. Do
Yeah.
you have to have Ubuntu installed on your system for this to run?
How do I?
Do you need to have Ubuntu installed on your system for this to run?
No, this terminal is already an Ubuntu machine. It's already Ubuntu. See, look at it. Ubuntu is a image. Okay, is a image. Look at it. This is Ubuntu Worker 64. So right, I am running an Ubuntu instance, an Ubuntu machine on my Windows machine.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about how the stuff will work.
No, you don't need to install Ubuntu. No. This Ubuntu, just know that Ubuntu is an image, and here I
It's
said alabi.vm.box. That is
so it's VM that
the
will do
box
the
is my
it's
the
VM
box
that will
is the
do the work.
Ubuntu. Do you get?
Yeah, yeah, I
So
understand.
I'm saying that I want to run a box of Ubuntu image. See all these Ubuntu, Debian, all those stuff, they are boxes. Okay, so if we have time, can go through Vagrant documentation to understand how this thing works. Okay, all these are box. Now Ubuntu box image, we have Debian, we have Kali Linux, we have a lot of them. Okay, so you don't have to install Ubuntu unless, if you want to install Ubuntu, you are only installing the image. Then you now come inside this container here that we created, and add it and import it as an image to my this alabi, and we now run it as. Now let me just show. If I click on this start now, obviously it will start though, but it will be requesting something from us. you know let's just see how this one will go, why I am focusing on this. So let's quickly do that, guy. So first thing you're going to do, if you want to integrate your what was it called? Now look at it now. Look at it. Select a startup disk. Okay, please select a virtual optical disk file or physical optical drive containing a disk to start your new virtual machine from the disk. So this, like now, if I have Ubuntu image, so you can download Ubuntu image from the internet, okay, and add to your system, then go and import it. Then you can import it to your your container that you created. Okay, but here we are just doing it automatically with Vagrant. So we don't have to worry about how it's going to be running all those stuff. Vagrant will
Okay.
help you to spin up a machine called Ubuntu, help you to partition everything, help you to allocate memory, help you to allocate RAM, all those stuff, all those good stuff. Do you get? We
Okay.
want to now integrate our, what's it called, our want to integrate our VS Code with my running machine. Okay, with my running machine, then run vagrant. So I need what something called the SSH. SSH. So let's just get that. We'll go again. What's the full meaning of SSH? Secure socket shell. Okay, secure socket shell. So vagrant config -ssh. So I want to get for my running vagrant. Okay, for this, so that I can now import it inside my VS Code, just like the way in our, what's it called, VirtualBox. Sorry, this their, what's it called, ALX stuff. um what's the name of this thing again? This is their machine that they give to us.
Sandbox.
Thank you. Sandbox. Sorry. On Sandbox, if you are familiar with Sandbox, you have to copy. If you want to log in your Sandbox to an SSH, you have to copy, their SSH and Vagrant SSH config. I want to copy the my SSH configure for my running Vagrant machine of Steven. Okay, this guy. Okay, that's what I want to do now, so that I can integrate it with my running stuff. So, and again, I want to show us the beautiful of this, of this store. That is, I can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 machine running on my system. Imagine this is like somehow crazy. Now this one is my machine, a Debian machine. Let me just show us. Let me because I'm not using it, so I deallocate memory for it, because I'm not using. So now I want to allocate memory for it now, because I want to use it. Okay, storage, system, yeah, processor. So let me just give it 1.7 gigabytes. Okay, just to run it, and we can see how it works. So let me just start it. So this one, go to what, start a machine for me, like a machine, a running machine. Okay, let me just power off this system. So we see a running machine, like a different machine running. Okay, so while we are doing that, also let's check this. Now this is what I want, this is what I need. Okay, this guy. So first I'm going to do is just copy from these hosts. Okay, copy it. Then let me just click on my copy. I'm copying it, then I'm going to my VS Code. Okay, I'm going to my VS Code. So on VS Code, you just click on this extension to get your remote SSH. Search for remote SSH. Okay, remote SSH by Microsoft. Okay, by Microsoft. Click on it and download. I already downloaded my own, so I don't have to disable and download it again, so because it's already on my system. So next thing you're going to do is, after you have download the remote SSH, you see something like this here. Okay, then click on it. Then now click on connect to hosts. Okay, connect to host. Then now see in your own case, you won't be seeing all these things because normally I'll be using my own, so that's why I'm seeing all this. Then now click on add new SSH host. Okay, add new um sorry, in my I am using 2sh in my own. I am using WSL, and I am using a remote SSH. So but remote SSH is the better one though. So configure SSH. Yeah. So now click on this first one, your user, like this, your slash user slash my name dot ssh slash config. We are copying ssh from my, from this guy, from my this guy, from this directory. I am copying the ssh part into my ssh, my own my system ssh, my user ssh. Okay, so that I can integrate my ubuntu, my running Vagrant with my VS Code. I click on this. Okay, now don't worry about this because I have a lot of things here. Okay, just in your own you see a blank. Okay, blank stuff. Okay, so just paste it here, the host alabi, right? Then and what's it called, VS Code has an auto save, so you don't have to worry about that. So that I'm done with this. Okay, I just click on connect. I just click on connect to host, alabi. As you can see, I'm seeing alabi there because I have added alabi to my configuration. So click on alabi, then pew, it will spin up like open my machine on VS Code. So let's wait for it. So now look at this, the one I am doing. Look at it, a running machine. A running machine. Let me log into my system. I'm on my system right now. Let me put my password. I remember my password. Don't forget. Okay, I still remember my password. So now it's going to what you see, running machine. It's loading, so let's give it time. Now why this one is what initially doing. Now we are working with Linux machine. So if your case, if you are running, obviously Ubuntu is Linux machine, it's not Windows, it's not Mac OS. So if you are working with the Mac OS machine, then we click on Mac OS. If you are working with Windows, click on Windows. But right now we are working with, with Linux machine, which is Ubuntu. Click on Linux. So it is set up an SSH host for Alabi, and boom, we have a running. We have a like we boom, we have integrated our VS Code with my running Vagrant machine. So easy, right? Look at it, still running machine again. Whoa, this is so amazing. Look at it. So I have a running machine. This is called a Vagrant machine. Vagrant machine. Okay, Vagrant machine. Vagrant machine. Let me just click on menu. You see that. Look at it. Look at the machine. A running machine on its own. Okay, that's a running machine. You can enlarge it. You can until you feel like, all those stuff. Okay. So let me search my terminal. So yeah, I can, if I don't want to use my system at all, my window at all, in my case now, all my programming stuff is not my window machine. Everything is inside my Ubuntu machine. So I know this terminal, and run a terminal stuff, because I have what's it called? So this one is setting up already. Now look at it. Ls, I have something running there because I've used it for some things, for my cloud stuff. Okay, now I can CD into the desktop, all those stuff, all those good things. CD into desktop, ls, cd back, all those stuff. Very, very, I mean, very, very interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay, and I can, I can do a lot of things that I said. I can then, but I'm not done. Look at it. It's only telling me that I have what 50% remaining, and same thing with my words. As you can see, this one is telling me 30%, but in its own case, it's telling me 50% remaining for my battery. So I can what, power off my system. Click on power off, and it will power off my system automatically. For me. Yeah, boom, done. Look at it, power off. Because I am not using it, I am not using the machine for now. So I am going to deallocate memory for it because I'm not using it. To 4 MB. That it won't affect my system. And this one too, so I will do a video on how we can on how we can curate a running machine on our machine, those stuff, how you can partition it, how you can all those stuff, you can partition yourself. With Vagrant help us with the partitioning, help us creating memory, all those stuff for us. But with this one with this one that I ran earlier, this one I did it myself. I created memory for it, I partitioned it myself. I partition it, like my files, how I want it to be, those stuff. I do it myself. So I will do a video on how you can do that also, how you can partition our system the way we want it. Okay, when back, like, surely do a video on that. So our main focus tonight is just integrating our VS Code with our running Vagrant machine. Look at it. It's downloading my VS Code server. So it's integrating my VS Code with my Vagrant machine, which is this guy here. Okay, away, this guy here. Okay, so please be fast, I beg. So do we have any question before we end this class, as this thing is downloading? Hello.
Yeah, hi. So I was going to ask, is it possible to use the VS Code just like we use just like we use the sandbox of the ALX without having to use the background and crash?
Yes, it is possible. You just copy their SSH given, copy it and paste it on your system, on your VS Code, and click enter. It will give you what you want. Yeah, look at it. My
Okay,
stuff
so
is
like now
back.
that we're intending to,
You said?
so yeah, like now that we're trying to like jumpstart some works on what's called now simple shell. Um, you're saying we can actually do this offline, kind of, without having to
Yes,
maybe
yes,
create.
yes.
Okay, okay,
So after you are done, you can now copy their SSH, for your sandbox. Copy it, come here, into your VS Code. Where is it? I know I'm presenting. Come here, and paste it. That's all. Now I have successfully integrate my system. So let me create something before my system die. Make a directory done. Okay, ls cd into done. Okay, so let me just open a folder. Look at it, done folder, then okay. Look at it, my done folder is ready. So that's just it. You can click on Linux, though this